What's good? What's good? Welcome back to another podcast of Let's Talk, and I have a special guest with me. Go ahead and please introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? My name is Eric Lee. I have a YouTube channel called 31 and Counting. That's 31, the ampersand or the and sign
Yes,
and counting.
sir. Yes, sir.
Got like 3,000 subscribers, so check it out.
Now he gloating. He got 3,000 subscribers. That's what's up. That's what's up. We getting there. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. You know, what you into, like what you got going right now, all the things that's coming up.
So a little bit about myself is I'm ex-military. I thought I was gonna go straight military route out of high school, but then I hated working like so hard on the labor job. So recently I went back to school, and within the last few years, got my bachelor's in psychology, and that's a little bit about me. Yeah, I got a bunch of kids.
And it's a rumor going around that you eat ass. That people pay you to eat ass. Like, it's like a app that you created that you could just eat ass.
Well, on this app, other people eat ass, and they pay me for the app. But no, I don't partake unless it's the missus.
I feel it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. What about you also had some things that you was growing. You had a little Instagram for him and stuff like that.
Yeah, I started a YouTube channel.
He really copied me.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, I seen Jordan was growing food again, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be one of those times where I need to really kind of show off my green thumb. I like competing. So if I see somebody doing something, I'm like, you know what? I've been kind of chilling on it, so let me see what happens. So I started another YouTube channel, and I started growing a lot of vegetables, and
it's good, though. It looks really good. You did really good. I'm proud of you.
I did good for a while.
Then
it stayed 100 degrees with no rain every freaking day for 3 months, it seems. So
that's the worst.
But I learned what vegetables really survived really good and thrived actually in this weather. And I mean, it ain't many, because my lettuce wasn't affected too much by it. Tomatoes did their thing, but they needed a lot of water. And it kind of got expensive, and it seemed like every day they were kind of dying and coming back. But what was it that did really good?
I know bell peppers do really good in the sunlight, but like it was just extremely hot this summer. Like it wasn't. My plants did the same thing. They just didn't survive after a certain amount. Okra. I ain't grow okra.
Okra has done great. I mean, I'm getting like 4, 5, 6 okra at a time now. I got this little recipe I posted on my follow my other IG. It's called Savage Garden, and that E is a 3. And on that Savage Garden, I show like some of my favorite recipes for how to cook some of these vegetables. I mean, it's not as in depth as Jordan's is with like making smoothies and all that stuff and that healthy lifestyle. It's just me being lazy, so I use the air fryer and just
ain't nothing wrong with it. Whatever gets the job done.
And it's still fairly healthy. I mean, it's less oil.
Yeah, less oil. It's actually a thing going around that air fryer is not the best to use because of the non-stick product that it has on it.
What I would say to that is, if you really care that much, get some aluminum foil, put it down, and then that way your food's on aluminum foil instead.
It's actually another study that aluminum foil, once you bake it, that aluminum gets in your food.
Yeah, but the amounts have to be small. And if you think of it like that, if you're worried about like aluminum foil and metals being in your body, same way with the microwave, people was like, well, now this will grow you, an 8-toe if you microwave food and it lose all its nutrients. I mean, you can't win. Unless you do it like your grandparents, which even then, maybe too much grease, high cholesterol. I mean, you just got to get it how you can. Yeah. Unless you're a vegan, then, you're pretty much perfect.
Well, I don't even know about that, because some vegan products are not the best as well, too. A lot of things that's processed is not the best.
Well, I'm talking about like the raw vegans. Like the vegans who are like, I picked this and all I'm eating is salad from my garden.
From my garden. I mean, posting about it. I'm kind of jealous, though, because once I get my shit flourished, it's over for you bitches. It is over.
Yeah, now that's definitely one of those things that it takes a while, but once you get enough land and you just, I don't know, for me it's more motivation to really just put in the work and get that garden going. I mean, even if it's not successful this year, if next year it's, I have to go to the grocery store quite a bit less, it's going to be worth it for me. So I think next year I'm going to do more like trees, like fruit trees and just see what happens, man.
Yeah, you got the space for it for sure. I seen you put a lot of things in buckets. Where you get your buckets from?
So if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, they have food grade buckets, not just those paint buttons. Never touch the paint buckets because that stuff will get, you don't know what's been in there, some kind of solvent or whatever that's going to leak into your food and, poison you slowly. Yeah. So they have food grade.
Free gym. Hey, go ahead and put them on there.
They have food grade buckets at Lowe's and Home Depot. They're the ones that have the triangle with the number 2 on the inside. Also, I mean, some people told me, like, if you're really hard up, you can go to bakeries because they get a lot of, like they get icing and all that stuff. And maybe they'll toss out the buckets and, they don't really reuse those things because they get orders in. They just toss them out like, big companies do pallets. Yeah. And you go there and be like, hey, I get those. And, all you have to do is clean those buckets out and, drill holes at the bottom for drainage. But,
how many holes did you put at the bottom of yours? How big was the holes?
I used 5-gallon buckets, so my holes were like 3/4 inch. Okay. So for good drainage, I mean, I normally, the way I do is I'll flood all the dirt as much as I can, like run all that water till the water is stagnant at the top, and then let it drain all the way through. And that way I feel like my soil is, very moist. For this kind of summer, that was a mistake because after seeing my water bill a few times, I was like, these are the most expensive tomatoes, and I would have just been better off buying them, at the store. So yeah, after I got my first harvest from a lot of the vegetables in the garden, I pretty much was like, put them things out to pasture because we weren't seeing any rain, and it wasn't a good investment this year.
It just wasn't a good time to plant things, I guess, in Texas. I don't know what the fuck going on, but it was pretty hectic this summer. I ain't gonna even lie. I couldn't get nothing to grow like I really wanted to. I even posted a TikTok about it. Go check out my TikTok at Damn Boy You Good. You got TikTok?
I ain't shaking my butt on for the kids.
What? I'm shaking all types of shit on TikTok.
So no.
I mean, I'm posting all types of good stuff.
I've been seeing your new content. The going out, catching people like after they're at bars or whatever, hanging out, clubbing.
Oh yeah, my public interviews. Yeah.
Those public interviews are probably the best things on the internet right now. Yeah. Because you really get people honest. Like you catch them off guard. You give them a simple question. But, it gives people a chance to really, like, compete with other people. So if it's a crowd of, like, 5 people, you ask one person, like, what was one of the things you asked them? Like,
like red flags and also the freakiest thing that you ever done.
And you know that some of those stories might be a little bit of cap. Because they're competing.
It was one that was definitely crazy.
They are competing with, their friends, and their friends be like, oh, yeah. I did this, I did that, and it was like, girl, I was doing that when I was a teenager. Now I'm an adult. I'm doing blah, 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 blah with 30 people. It's like 30.
Ooh, 30. I don't think you should be telling everybody that. Got to keep it to yourself.
It was a few. It was the one with the teacher was really crazy.
Oh, yeah. People
and then the one chick you reacted to like a champ when she was like, I got pregnant by a 30-year-old when I was this age. And I was like,
oh, my God. I think she was lying about that one. I didn't see no baby when I followed on social media.
Her friends were like, nope, can't talk that.
Can't do better than that one.
So, yeah, that was one of the ones that was pretty out there. But it gets interesting out there. And, shooting a video is really easy to do. You do knock out a lot of them, but
it's simple.
They are interesting.
You gotta just put the content out there. You gotta just be like, fuck it, man. Just take the time and just speak to people. You just never know what you're gonna get out of it. You just never know. And speaking of people, Eric, it's been a while. So how's that fitness journey going, man?
Okay, so
and Fernando got a baby.
Yeah, I seen that. Yay! That's the homie. I'm so proud of her, man. She's doing
crazy.
Great.
I mean, she's doing. I ain't talked to her in a while. Though.
So I've known Jordan since I think like 2017.
17? It was
yeah,
17
because we had 2017 or 18.
Damn, it's been a little
because we shared a class together. It was an art appreciation course.
Yeah. And I took that shit twice.
It was like. Yo, I got other stuff to be doing. And he left the class. And so then I always see him in the gym, and he'd be like, yo, how's it going? And he was trying to get swole. He was the only guy doing, like, muscle-ups and shit. And I was like, okay.
That's back in my gym days. Like I used to work down at Fitness Connection. That's crazy.
Getting swole. And so I've always had, like, this problem with, like, gaining weight, losing weight. Like most people, I got too much money. So I eat too good, I like to say, but you know, I always love working out. So that's one of the things that we really kind of bonded on is just staying in the gym, kind of staying consistent. I actually took this guy out shooting for his birthday.
It's been a while since I've been to the gun range.
Man, this dude took me hiking. I was like, I did some hiking before. You know, I was in the military for quite a while. So, but we went out. I'm like, man, we lost. He's like, nah, man, we just go up here. It was like that area had just flooded. We down here he wearing flip flops and shit. And I was like, man, we can't make this trail back up here the same way. He's like, oh man, don't worry about it. We figure out, and it starts raining
on me. That's crazy. That was crazy. They ain't gonna lie. We made it back though.
Yeah,
we made it back.
Yeah. It was cool.
But I got another question. How's your fitness journey? What you been doing? I see you was in bodybuilding for a little bit. What happened with that situation?
No, the bodybuilding's still going good. But you know, with that, you get injuries, and I recently had twins.
Yes.
So if anybody who has kids, you know that the goal is to get everything done, like fitness-wise, before they get up.
Yeah.
That shit ain't been happening. So I get up to go to gym at 5. They up with me. Like, what's up? And then my wife, she's sleeping. I'm like, oh, I could just leave and leave it to her, you know, like an asshole. But I'm up, and I haven't taken my pre-workout yet. So I'm stuck.
Such a good person.
So it'd be like that. So I still stay in the gym fairly consistent. I'm like four times a week, you know. The goal was always to be 6 to 7 times a week, but either I'm sore or I just ate too much, man. I ain't gonna lie. I got a lot of muscle, but man, I'm chunky. Which brings me to the shirt I'm wearing right now. It's kind of fat, kind of fit. If you a bigger guy, these shits are pretty awesome. No sponsor.
No sponsor. You know, but we do got some merch on Amazon. Go ahead and check it out. EBG merch. I'm gonna link it down below in the description.
So I see you getting back on your fitness stuff, though, man. I see you doing like the whole challenges of the day.
Yeah, man.
I didn't do the pull-ups. I didn't do the pull-ups, but I did the push-ups. I was like, easy, man.
Yeah. Nah, a lot of people say they couldn't do the pull-ups. But I'm gonna start dropping challenges every once in a while. It's just, you know, get people on it because a lot of people haven't been on it. I just want to push people and get people influenced and ready to go. You know, it's a lot of shit in this world that you got to be prepared for. Even pulling yourself up or pushing yourself up, you got to be prepared to put yourself in a predicament. You got to get how to get
I think my life depends on it. I got about 2 good pull-ups in me.
2?
For anybody who doesn't know me,
all the time at TCC.
Yeah, I can. I'm just saying. I know I can pull myself up, all clothes, everything, not gym attire, but just straight up, I can pull myself up once or twice.
Yeah, hey, at least you can do it.
Like I know for a fact I can make that happen. But you know. Like if I'm just doing reps in the gym, I probably got 4. 4 in the gym, and
he said with the shirt on.
Yeah, I'm gonna suffer. But you know, like for anybody listening to this, I'm a really big guy. I'm about 6'4", 350 pounds. So I'm big. That's why he keeps bringing it up because he's like, yo, man, we trying to get back down to 300. And I look buff, but I'm fat.
Oh, man. Nah, the words is power. You got to use them words to your advantage. You just a chunky man in the present time.
I got a dad bod.
Nah, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Bitches like dad bods. Well, put it down in the comment.
My wife gonna be like.
bitches like dad bods. Put in the comment, dad bod or 6-pack. Let me know what you fucking with, because I'm finna get my dad bod.
Bitches be fucking with Henry Cavill. So, Superman, they don't be care about no dad bods.
They don't be care about none of that. But what shit, man. What relationship advice would you give to like people my age, like a little younger? You know what I mean? Like
I would
in
say,
the 20s, 25. Would you tell them like to just keep doing what you're doing, or would you like just be in a relationship to be in a relationship? Like how would you break that down to people?
It depends. Early 20s, I would say have a plan. Like I know women normally have a plan for when they're gonna get married. Like, since they're kids, they know how the wedding's going to be, what they're going to wear. Like, they have a dream. Guys need to keep focused. I know we all have, well, not all of us. A lot of us don't even have ideas about our career. But I would say you need to know the most important parts, and it's going to be if you want a family. That's probably the biggest thing. If you're looking for a family, you need to figure out about what age because that's going to set you up for the right goals to have a family. Like, kids cost money.
Yeah.
Kids cost money. So if you're planning on having a family established 25, 28, 30, then you need to start working on like your career or whatever is going to get you that money so you can provide for your family. That also being said, when you're dating, when you're getting close to those ages, stop dating for fun.
Yeah.
Start dating a chick that you see something in that you can be with long term. And she's also like a friend. Like, I know guys don't really have girls as friends, but the girl needs to be pleasant when you come home.
Yeah, you don't want to come home to like a upsetting environment because it's not going to be good for the kids. It's not going to be good for your relationship. It's like a lot of things you probably got to consider as you get older, right?
Yeah, because you want to make sure that y'all both have the same plan.
Yeah,
like same goal.
Yeah,
same end
goal. Yeah,
because like some people be like, "Oh man, my woman in check." Well, I'm fucking up. I want my woman to be like, "Our goal is this.
Yeah,
get back to this. Stay on target." Not just a yes man. I want somebody with the same goal, so that way when I'm like feeling depressed, because sometimes being a man and providing and going to work is just depressing as hell. I want somebody that's gonna be like, look, we're so much closer to our goal. Just keep at it, and this shit's gonna pay off.
Yeah, like a partnership.
So that's why I would tell any guy, like, once you set the date or the timeline when you think you want to start having a family, if that's your goal, then you need to start looking for a partner that aligns with those goals.
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. So, how do you feel about double standards? Because there are double standards for men and women.
Oh, there we go.
A lot of women be like, "This is not how it should be," but like that's just how it is. So, how do you feel about different types of relationships, such as like open relationships, as was it polyamory? One of those relationships, like you have more than one wife, or you just, how do you feel about that?
Okay, so I can tell you as a single guy how I felt, and as a married guy going on 10 years of being married. Me personally, it's going to be a double standard. But nowadays, like back when I was younger, people would call it old-fashioned. Are you old-fashioned? Now people would be like, it's red pill, some of these, like to say that you want something that's old-fashioned, the girl, the guy, and just keep it simple like that. That's, people argue that that's a red pill thing, that your wife should be home or that she should be cooperative. I honestly feel like everything works out best if you have one woman. Now, if y'all play around, and bring other people into the relationship, and that might be cool depending on the woman, but overall it should be just you and that one chick and whatever y'all choose to do.
It's like hard work keeping up with more than one, right?
Okay, so now we're going to go back to before I was married. Before I was married, it ain't hard. See, the hard part is staying. That's like when people be like, oh, these guys sleep with prostitutes. Like the whole joke behind that is you're not paying a girl, to have sex. You're paying them to leave. And that's when marriage, like, you can't just walk. You get an argument, or you can pull a bad chick, another chick, or so forth. The whole thing is staying in that relationship, staying, with that goal. But when you have like all these options, like if you out here with 40 chicks and your main chick says, "Hey man, you fucking up," you go to a chick that's gonna be a yes man.
So it's better to be with one woman than multiple of women.
Now, some people could swing it other ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell get it how you live. But for me, it's less complicated with one chick. And I ain't a millionaire, but I'm sure, there's a lot of guys who got, like, super big pockets and it's like, I could take care of them all. I ain't that guy. But, like, the sexual part, I think any guy can handle, stable chicks. But, really being comfortable... being comfortable with a chick and like investing your time and all that stuff and like having a goal and not wanting to leave, for other temptations, that's the hard part. So I think it's just easier to get that other complication out of the way. Which reminds me, I had a sociology teacher. And he was talking some stuff, and I was like, man, some girl was trying to talk to me. We went out to sushi or something. Some chick was trying to holler at me, and I was like, man, I ain't got time for that shit. And his response was like something that always stuck with me after. He goes, everybody has time to cheat. He goes, you choosing not to. Like, take responsibility that you're making a choice right now.
That's true.
Don't just chalk it up to I don't have time.
That's a good advice. Sometimes not having time is having a choice. Like you can choose. That's the choice right there. Like you're choosing not to have that time.
You're choosing not to. You're like,
what consider is cheating though? Like, because it's a double standard. Because like a man can cheat on a woman and still love that woman, but not give a fuck about the girl. That
I don't know if that's a double standard.
What you think?
Okay, so I think having sex with somebody outside of your relationship or your agreement is cheating.
Okay.
Now, if you're a guy who says my girl can sleep with whatever girl she wants, and she does it, that's not cheating.
Yeah.
Now, if you say it only works when I'm around, like, we have a threesome and she goes out there and lives her best life,
that's cheating.
But, that's cheating.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the other stuff. It's just the respect y'all have for each other.
So this have to be discussed as two people before the relationship.
Yeah, what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Now
if you're having a monogamous relationship, if you're having a monogamous relationship, then those are the standards. It's just two of us. And if somebody, jumps in and you become poly, you bring a third person in, they're still the main bitch.
Yeah. I mean, it's always going to be that one that's going to, rule the little party.
But, normally for most guys, it doesn't work the other way around. And that's where I think you're talking about your double standard.
Yeah.
Where you're saying, can a girl bring another guy in? Now, I don't know many guys who's going to let their homeboy or some random guy smash.
Bring in. Like, say a woman has sex with a man, but it's like a thing that it's a conquering thing for that man to conquer that woman. So if a woman getting conquered by another man in a relationship, it kind of turns the other dude off.
There's a study. So there's a study that says that, and this goes back to me talking about being in a monogamous relationship. Yeah. There's a study that says that the more body count both men and women have, the less likely they are to commit to a long-term relationship. That's because they know their options. So a girl, I think it drops like 70 to 80%. Oof. Once, like, if me and a girl or, a girl and a guy were their first, each other's first, they have a 90 to 99% chance of staying married for at least 10 years. At least 10 years.
Like it's just,
yes, that is the standard. But if a girl has sex with 16 to 18 guys, it drops like 80%.
Damn, that's crazy.
Like, of them, like, staying in a relationship.
But that's just like a statistic, you know what I'm trying to say.
A statistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are one of those things, but it's based off a lot of, like, data. Just, that someone who has options, who knows their options, who's been either pleasured by somebody, because everybody does something different,
Yeah.
Somebody might like that I'm big, but then you might like some skinny dude, maybe he eat feet better. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But, like, everybody brings something to the table, and when you have those other things and you have multiple partners, the theory is that, maybe the person you settle for can compete in some way. Yeah. That whole, what's that thing, like 80-20? Like, if someone has 80% of the stuff that you like, that 20s, it's still worth cheating on. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta compromise, you know what I mean? You gotta make them decisions, if you want to do this or don't want to do this. It's just,
But for guys being, conquerors and stuff like that, I think because when a guy cheats, it's just purely off of, like, she looks good. I don't really care what she's thinking, what she brings to the table, as in with financial. It's just sexual gratification, and then a guy can sleep with a chick and ghost her. Like, he don't give a fuck after. Mm-hmm. Like, she got hit by a car the next day, and he goes, "Damn, I could have been in that car. Thank God I dropped that hoe off." And it's silly, but if a girl decides to, most girls, I ain't gonna say this for every, because some chicks are savage in these streets, but most girls, if they decide to give a guy time, they see something in it that they're, like, emotionally invested in. Yeah. So they, if they say that guy got hit by a car, they're gonna be like, "Damn, I'm gonna go see what he's doing. I wonder how his family's doing." They're gonna think about it a little bit longer, even if it's just a short-term relationship.
Yeah. So what do you feel about? Like, what makes a woman loyal? Like, what makes a person loyal? Like, what is your loyalty blueprint?
Oh, okay. So it's a little complicated because this varies for, I guess, lifestyle is probably the most. Because if you have an open relationship, loyalty could just be as simple as I like weird shit, like eating booty or some weird sexual shit.
Hey, that ain't
like,
weird.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying something weird outside of that. Because Kevin Gates kind of eating booty made it kind of
the norm. Popular.
Yeah, it kind of made it the norm. Everybody now they're eating booty and sharing cigarettes. But no, it could be something as simple as like I have this weird kink and you loyal because when we break up, you don't tell anybody. For some people, that's enough. It's like, I don't want my business out in the street.
Yeah.
For other people, like for me, loyalty would be like, hey, we set this goal. We're doing this together. We're raising a kid together. And if something happens where maybe I'm not that man you met, like maybe I gain a little weight because that shit's happened, or maybe, like I have a break from employment, are you going on to the next guy? Like, are you going to leave me when I'm at my lowest?
Yeah.
To me, that's what loyalty is. Is like,
and that means a lot to a man. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because like they get you. Normally you can't even date a chick unless you bring so much to the table.
Yeah, that'd be so.
It's a lot. It ain't just being a good-looking guy. It's a lot guys have to bring to the table before they even out dating. Because every guy got to go to a club, and every guy got to pay for that first meal. No matter how we ain't in California. This is Texas. They still want that first meal at least.
At least.
So. It is. When a guy decides to do something, there's a lot of effort behind it. Yeah. And I think if a chick hangs out with you or stays around while you're at your lowest, most of the time it's rewarded. Yeah, unless you're Kanye West.
Because she fucking what? I don't know. See, I mean, Kim did break up with, what's her name? I don't know if they're going to get back together.
I don't know nothing about none of that. But I know he posted like, hey, when I get on, I'm leaving your ass for a white girl.
Yeah.
Kim ass came right along. Mm-hmm. So, like, he ain't the most loyal, but,
And she was sucking dick. So, y'all got some chances out there. Y'all got some chances. So, how do you feel about, like, what a woman wear if y'all, like, in a relationship? Like, does that matter?
What do you mean if you're
like,
not
she dressing too provocative or, like, she wearing clothes that you just don't approve of and she not taking you, like, seriously?
If you're dating?
If you're dating or in a relationship, it's like more respect for the man, right? Than like, rocking like some tight ass clothes.
So if you met a chick who dressed like if she on Instagram, cheeks out, like that. Yeah, cheeks out, and you've always known her, like y'all neighbors, or you always see her in the gym and you see her out, out in the streets, and she's always dressed like that, bro. You knew what kind of clothes she had.
Yeah, I mean, you seen the closet.
Now, if she's one of those people who does not dress up ever. Like, you see her and she's always, back at the girl next door in the 90s.
That's the best girl.
And then, when she goes out with her friends or when she ain't around you, it's the only time she dress up. You call it insecure, but I would feel some kind of way if she never dressed up for you or, even if y'all did something and then every time she goes out with other people, she...
Sound like she's still out there shopping.
Yeah.
Trying to find herself a man or a man trying to find her, one or the other.
But, to each their own. But I do believe a lot of girls now, if you have it, show it off, mama.
I mean, show a titty or two.
But, it's one of those things where you have to balance the, like where somebody might say you're insecure with what you, have your standards.
Yeah.
Like if we're in a relationship, I don't know if I should have as much right to say, hey, don't go out like this, don't dress like that. But if I can see all your baggage, you know what I'm saying, and you looking like you doing the thirst trap, I think there should be room to at least discuss it. Now, if you choose to do whatever you want after the fact, hey, that is what it is. But, a guy should be like, hey, I feel uncomfortable with you dressing like this. And if she tells you go fuck yourself, then, you can keep shopping too.
What's what you think, like, the number one thing? Well, I wouldn't say number one. What would you say the 3 top things is to keep a woman happy? Like, not on a regular, because it's kind of hard to keep a person happy all the time, especially if they're not happy with themselves. But what would you give to, like, somebody who's going through things to try to keep their woman happy?
Are you saying if they're already going through shit? Like, well, if they have beef already, like drama?
Not like beef. Like, say they have issues, but it's like communication or just like certain things that can be fixed in a relationship to keep the relationship going on strong.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk from experience and I'm gonna talk from like what I know.
Okay.
So from experience, I went through a spat with my wife when we were about at the 5-year mark. Whereas, like all my memes, I'm getting them and I'm sending them to my homeboys. And, like we weren't communicating. We were both going to school at the same time. So we're all busy. So I think more like involving your spouse or whoever you're talking to and your day-to-day. Now, I'm not saying bog them down with your problems, but like, hey, how you doing? Or if you see something funny, keep that same kind of communication you had that got her. Like, don't get lazy, like, don't, if she got you when you had 6-pack, motherfucker start working back to getting that 6-pack, like, because you would feel some kind of way too, to an extent, if the lady you're dating, like, you met her, she was, classy, and then all of a sudden her hair is purple and bald-headed, and,
you ain't fucking with her no more.
She done gained 70 pounds. Like, so guys got to take care of themselves, too.
Yeah.
But I would say for any guy who's having issues outside of working on that communication and trying to get back to that baseline where y'all are, friends and she still heads over heels over you, I would say work on being a stronger provider. Yeah. Because the safe place is where the ladies go. So if everything's taken care of, like the bills, like if they ain't worrying about what they eat, and if they can go out at least, twice a month and go out and eat, which, like if you're making time for date night, they really ain't got much place to go. Because a lot of guys ain't prepared to come out of pocket like that, especially for somebody who's already, hooked up with someone. Some people are tricky, but, normally that's 1 or 2 dates. But longevity is key, So if you can take care of your girl, she ain't going to really be out there shopping. So I would say security, communication, and the last thing would be keep her excited. Yeah. If your relationship's getting dull, plan trips, plan dates back to that part. Like plan something that she likes. Like really show that you're invested in a relationship. And if it doesn't work out, you try. Yeah. So
that's good advice. I really appreciate that because it's gonna help a lot of motherfuckers out. So y'all take this advice, write it down on paper, and use this shit. Don't just, hear it and not put it to work. Put it to work. That's the only reason you're going to get what you want. And the only reason you get what you want is because you planted that seed for the future. Manifestation is the key. So stay up, stay blessed. And also, let me ask you another question. What's the craziest sex story that you ever had?
Not going to do that.
What? Why
this
not?
This is public, and I've been married 10 years. Like, so I'm not gonna do that because
man, I respect that. What about the like? Give me a fight story. Craziest fight story.
Okay, so pretty much I had just came back from Afghanistan, and a lot of us guys came back, and we, when you go deploy to combat zones, you can't drink. So everybody comes home and they want, the fast food they didn't have. They want the alcohol, the bars, and hang out. And I came back, and I've never been big on drinking, but, when in Rome. So we're out drinking, and some guy just says, he's not even talking to me, but it's a bunch of us soldiers, and we're in Missouri, and some guy just says something so inappropriate. I don't remember what it was, but it may have been baseline races, but not like strong races, but like, yo, boy, like that kind of races. And one of the NCOs, he was a white dude, and he was like, don't you fucking talk to that soldier like that. And he was like, soldier? Hey, no, who the fuck's a soldier in here? And we all raised our hands, and dude just hit one of them. He wasn't feeling very patriotic, so he hit the guy, and they threw him through the window.
Damn.
And these guys, the guys who threw them through the window weren't even soldiers. They were just, I guess, the most patriotic motherfuckers in the room because there was only 5 of us. And then, so I had an NCO Sergeant Carroll. He's like, what the hell's going on over there? He goes over there to try to break up the fight, and they throw him through the rest of the glass window, and he slices his whole arm up. Now, this is a guy who made it through a combat tour with no wounds. First week back. Destroyed it, like just tore his fucking tricep, had to get out of the military. So now we're beating the hell out of him. The fire department shows up before the police, and the fire department is trying to break this fight up in this hick town in Missouri. And I'm like, yo, this is getting a little too wild. and then people start pulling out guns.
Oh man, that's when it started getting too crazy.
On the fire department. So now the police come and they fuck all of us up.
Damn. How many people you say, like an estimate? How many people was there?
I would say it was only like 18 people.
Damn.
It was, yeah, because it was okay. So I came with like 7, 8 soldiers. Okay. The 2 other guys who threw the first guy out the window, and then the hicks, like the rednecks who just was saying shit because they were drunk. But that was probably the one. I didn't throw a lot of punches in that fight because it got really weird. It was a lot of wrestling and throwing people through windows, but not a lot of fisticuffs. I got a lot of crazy army stories, but they probably only be funny to people who are in the military.
Well, so I'm not in the military. What about like what's too nasty? Like if you're talking about sexual, what is too nasty?
For
like say
for me to
you ever pissed on a girl?
No.
Ever been pissed on?
Not on purpose.
Would you consider that too nasty?
I would say it was kind of weird. So I can give that kind of story. Like this chick thought that she could squirt, and that wasn't squirting. She pissed. She pissed on me.
Did she have like a good like?
Nah,
did she
there was
water?
There was nothing good about it.
Oh, okay. But you've been squirted on before, though.
I ain't gonna get into details.
I've been squirted on before in my face. It was a crazy story. I'm gonna say that for another time. Well, actually, fuck it. I'm gonna tell it right now. Say like I was curious. I ain't never seen squirt come out without like like porns.
Hold on. So let's back this up real quick. So the girl told you I'm a squirter, and then you said I'm trying to see what that be like. Or in the midst of the deed, she said, "Let me show you something."
Nah, I was like, like we already did it. Like we was finna do it, but like I was trying to figure out how did it work. So she had like a little vibrator, I'm like right there.
So she told you she had already squirted on you.
She told me. We didn't do it yet.
Okay, so she told you.
She told me,
and now she's showing you.
Yes. Okay. So I was like right there, like pussy to face. So I'm looking at it. So she, she doing the vibrator thing. That hoe just came out and hit me right in the face. It smelled like piss. I didn't enjoy it.
She peed on your face.
She pissed on my face. Shit. It was kind of surprising when she like definitely hit me in the face with it. It was warm. It was like a stench.
I can tell you what the degree it was. It was like 98 degrees. That shit was piss, bro.
That shit was hot. Hey, I can't even lie, man. That's one of my fucked up ass stories.
Man got the golden shower. Was not happy.
I was not happy. I'm not really like into the squirters. I mean, it's cool, but like it's like that shit be pushing. You gotta push back sometime. But that's crazy. So, what the like? I don't even know at this point. I always do this in the middle of these motherfuckers. I be adding questions that I can ask because you married. I don't want to disrespect your little relationship.
Yeah, I'm not trying to really go into all the sexual stuff. Cause
yeah, I got it. What do you like? What's your beliefs? Like, what do you believe in?
Oh, so this is the bad.
We going here.
So we've already covered the red pill, the double standard between guys and girls, and now we're going to talk about what my beliefs are.
Yeah,
so I'm going to say that I grew up in the church. Okay. My dad's a preacher. My mom, all the whole nine. The black family stayed in the church, quoting scriptures as a kid. But currently, I would say, well, at one point, I would say that I was an atheist. I didn't believe in anything, like as big as this, universe is, it's kind of hard. And even if you limit it to Earth, it's kind of hard to say that I know for a fact, or I have enough faith that what I choose because of my location is the right God. Whereas you have, Hindu has over 3,000 gods. And you're talking about, so we're not even talking to if you're right to be a Christian, if Islam's the right way, being Jewish, we don't know. And I think that not knowing is enough for me to say now that I'm agnostic. Like, I believe there's a higher power, but I don't think that I'm going to guess it right. So I just try to live my best life
So explain that to the people who don't know what that is. I mean, I know you kind of just did it, but like,
so an atheist is someone who doesn't believe in God. An atheist. Well, I'm not going to break it down because when I told people at first that I was an atheist, people would say, "Well, you worship the devil."
Oh,
no, atheists don't believe in any of like what you do. You're responsible for. There is no higher power that you can be like, "Well, God did this for me that was good, and the devil did this because of that if it's bad." Yeah. No, it's literally you're in control, manifest destiny. An agnostic is someone who says, hey, I believe in a higher power, they could come off as spiritual. Like, I believe in something out there, but I don't know if they either care or if I have it right.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think that God cares that I eat a pork sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's that much thought behind it. I think it's just that if you do the right things, that hopefully you live a long life based on simple stuff like karma.
Yeah. Do you believe in healing of the body? Like herbs and oils and different things?
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard to argue against that. Yeah. When you have like Tylenol and those stuff, they come from certain tree roots. Like most of our medicine is based off what, was herbalists were using, so they base a lot of medicine off that kind of stuff. So it's not really room for discussion. Even testosterone. This is a funny thing. Okay, we're talking about herbs. You know how, you know how they call like guys who are soft, they call them like soy boys because what soy does if you consume a large amount of soy is it lowers your testosterone by raising your estrogen levels. But when they make testosterone, like TRT for people who are supplementing.
Hey, this is Jordan.
And Eric.
And I just want to take the moment to let you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts and stay blessed. Hashtag bless up. Hashtag EBG. Thank you guys. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I think Eric has something he got to say.
I ain't got nothing.
Oh, okay. Let's get it. All right, we was talking about different sources of income that you was going to put us on, Eric, because, you big guru over here. You got a lot more experience than I do, and I'm just putting my foot in the game now, trying to get everything started. So share with the group, put us on. Give us some jewels.
Okay, so one of the biggest things people always say, like, and I always heard it when I was a kid, but nobody actually did it. They would talk about how the one thing that we ain't growing any more of is land. So I would tell people to start thinking about how they can invest in properties. I know right now is a bad time in the economy to look at houses. That $100,000 house you seen, 5 years ago or 4 years ago is now $700,000. But they're building enough, and eventually, I believe that there's going to be a housing market crash, and it's going to give people an opportunity to get into it. So what I would tell people to do in the meanwhile is really start building your credit. The way you're going to go by this, if you have no credit, is to go to somewhere like, not Chase. Chase is pretty good, but not the greatest. Go to Wells Fargo and open up a secure credit card.
Now, what your credit?
Yeah, so what you would do is it'd be a credit card just like a debit card. You can't spend what you don't have on a card. Yeah. So if you open it up with $200, then you can spend that $200. But I wouldn't spend all of it. So I would spend maybe a quarter of it. Spend $50 filling up the gas, once a month, pay it off immediately. And before you know it, what they're going to do is they're going to increase your credit limit. And then they're going to start sending you stuff in the mail saying, oh, well, you're pretty good, you're trustworthy. And they're going to get you other credit cards. What you're going to do after that is you're going to spend those money on that credit card the same way, Don't max out your limit. Try to keep it about 30%. Don't spend any more than that. So normally when I do mine, I use it just for gas, which now is a lot, but the theory is still pretty sound. So,
it's going to take some time. Don't try to rush into this process because you want to be able to create a good credit score so you can be able to use the government's money to purchase other products such as assets.
Yeah, so normally, so you continue this, and while you're doing this, when they send you all these other credit cards, you don't need them. You don't need them. You need maybe 2 credit cards max.
Yeah.
And you're only going to pretty much put money on one. You're going to use the secure until you have a regular credit card, and then you're going to use that, and you're just going to use 30%, no more than that. And you're going to pay it off every month. So that means anything else outside of that, like if you're looking at getting a car, if you're just playing around with getting a car, Don't go and fill out the credit stuff because they will do a hard credit check on you. For those who don't know, what happens is when someone runs your credit, it's a hard inquiry because it's saying that this guy needs money and he's desperate. So it's actually hits hard on your credit score and drops it. So that means every time you go to, say, JCPenney's, Macy's, or any of these Best Buy or any place like that where they're offering you a credit card, just say no. The extra 25% saving you at the moment isn't worth it. Just cut your ties and keep it pushing. So what's going to happen is you're going to build your credit. It's going to start off slow, but then before you know it, it's going to go really fast. So maybe a year. A year is going to be enough time for you to go from 0 credit score to a decent credit score. And I know people always say 800, but anything over 740 is just bragging rights. Good credit, at 700 you're pretty good. 740, there's not much extra that raise in credit score is going to do for you. So what you're going to do after that, it depends on if you're single or if you're in a relationship. Because we're talking about young people now that are first-time homeowners who have not purchased a home. If you are single and you're thinking about getting married, don't get married. Don't get married yet. Not until you buy. So what you can do, instead of buying a house, your first go around, you can buy a fourplex or, a triplex.
Something that's going to generate
so what you would end up doing is you get that fourplex because it's your first time, as long as you stay there, you're choosing to stay there in one of those buildings or one of those rooms, I don't know what it's called, one of the apartments. As long as you choose to stay there, you're going to get the same 3.5% interest locked in for a first-time homeowner, and you only have to stay there 2 years before you can either rent out that other place, that other room that you're in, and go on to bigger and better things. So that works out great if it's 2 of you. So if your spouse can get, like I said earlier about aligning your, having a plan and having somebody with like mind. If you and the person you plan on having as your spouse can both go out and get that first-time house loan for 3.5%, that's what you put down. You don't put down that 20. If it's your second and you're buying this house as not for you to live in, but as a property,
an asset,
you spend 20%. You putting 20% down, whereas you only put 3.5% down. That means if you get a building that's 600,000, or you putting down just a fraction of that amount of money to get you in. Now, this is the next part about that is once you're in, you fill those other 3 apartments with tenants. That should be enough money to cover where you don't pay any rent. That's going to cover your mortgage.
Yeah.
So now you're living somewhere rent-free and you're building money. Now that money that you're making as a business now, because you have multiple people paying you, it's a business. That counts as income. So now you have more buying power, purchasing power in the future. So what I would tell people is that is a good plan, and not to worry about cars. Cars are easy things, and they're never going to be an asset unless, you buy some collectible car that's out of all our price range. But if you stick to that plan, you're already setting yourself up for future, to be recession-proof because everybody needs somewhere to stay. And you're also going to set a good, standard for your family where you have assets that you can pass on from generation and creating that generational wealth.
Yeah, that's a good one. I really appreciate you dropping that jewel.
So I'm going to say it one time so I'm not long-winded. Mm-hmm. Is for your first home, buy a fourplex.
Yes. Or something, or a duplex, more than just one location. Multi-family dwelling. Yeah.
You can't get the same credit anything more than fourplex.
Yeah.
So fourplex, duplex to fourplex. Get one of those. If you have a spouse or someone in mind that you have not married yet, get them to do the same thing. That way y'all both can live rent-free and stack your money. And then after 2 years, y'all can buy a house or another fourplex. But the advantage of those being your first homes is you get that 3.5% or that 3.5% down, versus 20% down for something like that.
Yeah. And I'll suggest also Airbnbs as well. So say you have a location that you're staying in right now. Say if you're already staying in a duplex, apartment building, or a home, take the time to dress that room up and put that room on Airbnbs in order to create another source of income. If you feel comfortable, you have to take the time to do your research about these things, because it will not come easy, but you have to put the work in order to get what you really want to do. And just do your research. And I'll say, if you just get started, say you in high school or you're a college student and you ain't got the funds or you ain't got the knowledge just yet, it's also other things that you can do, create, that money in order to invest. But I say, if you want to do houses or duplexes, use the government's money, get a loan, and use that money and put that how much you said percentage down?
3.5%.
3.5% down. Do not put all that money into that one property, because that money is gonna come back. And it's the such thing as good debt and bad debt. But you have to do your research. Excuse me. You have to do your research.
Yeah, so if you have any questions on this, I mean, just look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I can't stress how much, information is out there. It's probably why it's one of my favorite platforms. YouTube, you can look up anything and someone's willing to help you for free.
For free.
And
so you have to pay them.
No, I mean,
you got to pay for some things. If you want more education or hand-to-hand combat.
If you're paying for something, you're wrong. Yeah. Like, if you go to a professional and need some actual work done, that's different. But just getting a game, it's out there. It might not be easy to find, but it's definitely out there. Yeah. And if you look up 6 things and 5 or 6 people are telling you this is the way to do it, then, average wins. Yeah, so and you can always ask somebody, once you find out what you want to do, maybe you could find somebody locally who can really put you on.
Yeah. And also, you can, in the meantime, you can learn how to flip things. Like, say, shoes is very popular. Watches are very popular. It's certain things that you can get in order to get a profit out of. Say you buy a pair of shoes for $80 and they in good condition. You clean them up, ice them up, and you sell that for $180. So you get $100 profit, and you use that money to keep that going. Or furniture. You can also, they be having dump weeks. Like, I'm not sure what area have what time of dump weeks, but people do leave furniture out where you can take the time, clean them up, and just post them. That's free profit. It's always ways to make money without going to work.
Yeah,
that's if you're, interested.
It's sweat equity. I mean, I think the biggest thing you could probably do that maybe costs a little bit of money would be, like, a lot of people do detail in cars. Yeah. It doesn't take a lot of money to get into it, and you can go out and make it happen on the low, or you just do
pressure washing, because you can get the same equipment to detail cars and pressure wash.
Yeah, or you could just make YouTube videos and hope that you blow. Like, you never know what it's gonna be, but you just gotta pick something and get the grind in.
If you're not trying to grind, if you're not trying to put that work in, it is not going to come to you. I promise you. So take the time and put the work in. We're going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Don't forget to follow us on my social media accounts. I'm going to link it down below. Don't forget to follow Eric on his social media accounts. I'm going to link it down below. Send me the information so I ain't just typing all that. But yeah, tap in. I hope you guys have a blessed day. And I appreciate you guys listening to it. All right, appreciate it. All right, get the fuck out of my shit.